I've looked at and driven the 2022 Toyota Tundra, but would I replace my 2021 with it? Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Rob Motive FST. And that's right, I have looked at and driven the new redesigned 2022 Toyota Tundra. There'll be a link down below if you want to check out. There's two videos, just looking at the truck and then one actually driving it. Check them out. Now, the big question is, would I buy it? Now, the trim level that I drove, of course, it was the TRD off-road. It was an SR5 TRD off-road 4x4. It was in Lunar Rock. Let me start off by saying I wasn't a big fan of the Lunar Rock until I saw it in person. It looks much, much better in person, as does the truck itself. I've made several videos, some not so positive, about what I thought about the truck from pictures and things that I'd seen. But after going and experiencing it in person, I will say I do like the truck. I don't really have any big knocks about it, nothing really negative to say, other than, I suppose, the front grille. And I'm not talking about really the grille itself, I'm more talking about the chrome piece that goes around it. And I will add one other thing. On this particular truck, and I realize it's going to vary depending on the trim level, the model that you go with, but on this one in the back, it did have two little chrome panels in the rear grille, or the rear bumper, I should say. Wasn't a big fan of that. They were almost like mirrors. I think, you know, if I wore makeup, I could probably sit down in front of them on a nice sunny day and put that stuff on, whatever you put on, I don't know. So those are the two small problems I had with it. Now, would I buy it? Let's answer that question right off the bat. And I'm talking about this particular truck, the TRD Off-Road 4x4. The answer is no, I would not buy it for a few reasons. One, there is a pretty hefty markup on it right now. And I know everybody out there has a big problem with it. And don't get me wrong, I don't like markups either. But hey, it's a business, and if people are willing to pay the markup, then the dealerships are going to charge it. It's the way it is. I mean, think about yourself. I mean, if you were selling something and for some reason it became more valuable, would you just turn your head and sell it for what it's really worth? Or would you try to make a little extra cash on the side because people are willing to pay it? I perfectly understand that. Doesn't mean I have to do it. And that's the choice that you have. You don't have to pay the markup. You can buy something else. You can wait until the market becomes more saturated with these trucks. That markup is going to disappear. It's not going to last forever. I was told they're building about 200 of these trucks per day. So it's not going to be too long. There's going to be the initial hit, which is what we're seeing in Texas right now. The first state to get them, by the way. And then they're going to spread out. They're going to be across the country. And as soon as that happens, you're going to see that big markup go away. And I would strongly recommend that you wait. I mean, unless you've got 10, I've heard as much as $50,000. Could you imagine paying a $50,000 premium for really what is just a normal truck? Somebody's going to do it. Somebody with a lot of extra money to just throw away, I guess. So I would suggest you wait until that clears. So that's the first reason why I would not buy it. I'm not paying a markup for any vehicle. I did it once, I won't do it again. Secondly, I'm waiting for the big kahuna. I want the well, it doesn't have to be a TRD. I want the hybrid. I want the V6 twin turbo hybrid. The one that's supposed to have all of the torque that we can get and all of the horsepower that we can get. I don't see any reason to dump the current truck that I have, which is absolutely fine. And let's face it, it's only, what, about 4 months, 3 months old, something like that? I haven't even had the truck that long. So no, I wouldn't dump it until the new big truck comes out, the one with all of the advancements in it. Now, speaking of advancements, you know, there is a lot in this truck. I mean, the truck was rebuilt basically from the ground up. Not that there aren't similarities, there are some. I'll give you an example. The door controls reminded me of almost exactly what I have right now. I'm talking about in the armrest area where you have your window up and downs and your mirror controller. That looks almost identical to me. So not everything is so much different. The things that I really liked about it, the interior. I am a fan of the interior. I wasn't in the beginning, although I haven't seen it with the big giant, 14.1, whatever it is, screen. Although I want that. If I'm gonna buy a new one and I'm gonna spend all that money, and you can bet the hybrid is not gonna be cheap, I look for that to be probably somewhere in the $60,000 to $65,000 range, right where the markups are right now. But if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna have everything. I want that big screen. I did like the screen that was in it. It was an 8-point-some-odd-inch screen. Looks nice in the truck. It's nicely integrated in there. They finished it off at the top with the dash. It doesn't just jut up and above the dash. I like that. One of my favorite things is the center console area. You know, I wasn't a big fan before because they kind of made two armrest areas on each side that are rather thin. Thinner than what we have in the current Tundra. But I gotta say, there was plenty of comfort, plenty of room there to put my massive arm in, so it was really not a problem. I liked the little slide area that they had so that you could put bigger drinks in there if you want to. I liked the safe that was in that truck. That was integrated perfectly. It didn't look like some aftermarket thing that they just threw in. Not that the aftermarket ones are bad. I have seen a lot of them installed in trucks and they look pretty good. But this one was just one step above. A good place to secure stuff if you want to. Now, I also liked, we have a storage area up above the glove box. You know, one of the things that I had seen when I looked at a Tundra first, way back about when they first came out, maybe a year after, was that dual glove box. You had the one down below, the one up above. For some reason, Toyota took that out. Who knows why? I don't know why. But now they have a long area there. It is open, but it's an area where you can store stuff. I think it's a great utilization of space, and it certainly does satisfy that urge that I had for that other or additional glove box like what they used to have. The appearance of the truck, yeah, I like it. Wouldn't deter me from buying it. I think it's pretty cool. I like the electronic tailgate. You just kind of push it up. Sort of reminds me of the old Corvette that I had. For the trunk, you just reached under. It has that same kind of feeling. It would electronically release and then it would go up. In this case, the Tundra, it electronically releases and it goes down. Nice and dampened. I like that they've put the composite bed in the back. I think they should have done it years ago. It's perfectly fine. I've never had any issue with a composite bed in my Toyota Tacoma, so I think it's gonna be just fine. The place that I think it might be off a little bit, and another reason I guess why I will wait until the hybrid with the extra power comes out, is the power. When I first drove it, I think I commented in the video, again link down below if you want to check it out, that it was equivalent to the V8. It's really not. When I got home the next morning, I took mine for a drive. I do have the 5.7 liter V8, and it's definitely more powerful, the one that I have. The one in the new truck, the new engine, isn't bad, but it's definitely not as oomph. It doesn't have as much oomph or as much power as this truck does. This is good through the whole power band. Maybe that's a function of the twin turbos, I don't know, but it just doesn't seem to be as responsively quick as what my existing Toyota Tundra is. So, bottom line is, we're gonna hold on to this truck for a while longer until the hybrid comes out. Obviously, I'll have to drive that as well. It is gonna have to be more powerful than the truck that I have, of course. I never look to go backwards, at least not intentionally, with any vehicle. So we shall see. The book will be written on that a little bit later. Anyway, just wanted to give you my impressions and what I'm going to do. I know a lot of people had asked, well, did you buy it? Are you going to buy it? And the answer is no. I'm not going to buy that truck for the reasons that I gave. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Given what I've said, is it a truck that you'd be interested in buying? If you didn't really have to, are you willing to pay that extra money? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Rob Motive, all about my 2021 Toyota Tacoma. And Rob Motive JT, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.